On Air Force One, Trump's remarks unfolded against a backdrop of soft murmurs from staffers and the click of camera shutters. Journalists aboard the plane noted that the president appeared unusually subdued as he spoke. His words, "terrible thing," "tragic situation," "feel badly," conveyed not political calculation, but a personal tone of sympathy, an acknowledgement of human fallibility. To many observers, Trump's reaction reflected a familiar dynamic: his fascination with celebrity and his instinctive empathy for those caught in public storms. During his presidency and beyond, Trump has frequently expressed understanding for individuals facing scandal, often framing their situations in terms of unfair treatment or bad circumstances. But this time, his focus was not on politics. It was on a royal family navigating humiliation on a global stage. For context, Prince Andrew's entanglement with Epstein had long been one of the most toxic legacies for the British monarchy. Epstein, who died in a New York jail cell in 2019 while awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges, left behind a network of associates who faced public scrutiny. Andrew's name was among the most prominent, owing to a photograph showing him with one of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Giuffre, who alleged that she was trafficked as a teenager. Andrew has consistently denied all allegations and reached an out-of-court settlement with Giuffre in 2022 without admission of liability. Yet the scandal lingered, eroding public trust and reshaping perceptions of royal privilege. When King Charles assumed the throne, he reportedly resolved to draw a clear moral boundary, one that would reaffirm the monarchy's credibility in a modern era increasingly intolerant of institutional secrecy. The decision to revoke Andrew's princely title was, according to royal insiders, made not in anger, but in necessity. As Air Force One continued its flight toward Joint Base Andrews, the president shifted his attention to domestic matters. But reporters persisted, asking whether Trump believed the monarchy could recover from such reputational blows. He offered no further elaboration, only a brief nod and a reflective gaze out the cabin window. His earlier statement hung in the air, a reminder that even world leaders, often insulated by power, can respond to scandal with a note of shared humanity. Under the low hum of jet engines, the cabin of Air Force One carried a reflective mood as President Donald Trump addressed a small group of reporters traveling with him. The conversation turned unexpectedly to London, to the British royal family, shaken by a scandal that had again made global headlines. King Charles III had revoked his brother Prince Andrew's title of Prince, following renewed public outrage over Andrew's association with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. When asked for his reaction, Trump paused for a moment, visibly weighing his words. Then, with his familiar tone of blunt empathy, he said, "I feel very badly. I mean, it's a terrible thing that's happened to the family. That's been a tragic situation, and it's too bad. I feel badly for the family." Those words, brief but carefully chosen, echoed across international media within hours. They carried the signature cadence of Trump's off-the-cuff remarks, emotionally charged, slightly repetitive, but unmistakably human. For a leader who often courts controversy himself, his comment about another family's crisis was both striking and revealing. The fallout from King Charles's decision had already dominated British headlines. Royal watchers described it as one of the most significant disciplinary moves within the House of Windsor in decades. Prince Andrew, once a senior working royal, had been gradually sidelined since 2019, when his BBC interview about Epstein triggered widespread condemnation. But the latest step, stripping him of the title of prince altogether, marked an unprecedented act of royal distancing. In Buckingham Palace, aides were said to be managing the aftermath quietly but firmly. British media reported that the decision was made in the interest of the Crown's integrity, following private consultations with senior advisors and the Archbishop of Canterbury. For King Charles, it was another test of his steady-hand leadership, balancing family loyalty with public accountability. Political analysts later drew connections between Trump's empathy and his own public persona. They noted that his relationship with Britain's royals had always been complex. As president, Trump had attended state dinners hosted by Queen Elizabeth II and praised her as an extraordinary woman. Yet he had also clashed with British politicians over issues like NATO spending and Brexit. His comment about Prince Andrew's downfall seemed to bridge that gap, less political, more personal. British commentators were divided. Some viewed Trump's words as diplomatic courtesy, while others saw them as genuine compassion from a man who, despite his wealth and influence, understands the weight of public disgrace. The Daily Telegraph wrote that Trump's reaction may resonate more deeply with those who recognise that both politics and royalty are realms where personal conduct is forever public. Meanwhile, inside royal circles, silence prevailed. The palace declined to respond to Trump's remarks, maintaining its standard policy of not commenting on foreign leaders' statements. However, the gesture did not go unnoticed. Social media platforms buzzed with debate, with many users in the UK and US interpreting Trump's comments as either sympathetic or opportunistic. Royal historian Sarah Bradford told Sky News that the situation underscored the monarchy's ongoing struggle to adapt to modern moral expectations. This is not just about Prince Andrew, she said. It's about how the royal family manages accountability in the public eye. For King Charles, it's an act of institutional self-preservation. For Trump, the episode offered another opportunity to showcase his instinctive grasp of media optics. His brief, almost melancholy tone contrasted sharply with his usual bravado. Perhaps in speaking about another family's scandal, he was reflecting, consciously or not, on the human cost of global scrutiny. As Air Force One descended through cloud cover toward Washington, reporters filed their notes and packed their cameras. The soundbite had already been transmitted, broadcast, and replayed across networks worldwide. On American television, anchors replayed his words in full. "I feel very badly. I mean, it's a terrible thing that's happened to the family. That's been a tragic situation, and it's too bad. I mean, I feel badly for the family." In the hours that followed, news outlets dissected the remark. Some framed it as a show of empathy from a man known for his combative political style. Others saw it as an instance of Trump aligning himself with global elites, a reminder of his fascination with status, fame, and the intersection of power and scandal. For many viewers, however, the takeaway was simpler, a momentary glimpse of shared human sentiment from inside the gilded isolation of Air Force One. As the president's plane touched down, the political world moved on, but the story of Prince Andrew's fall and Trump's reaction to it continued to ripple through headlines and conversations alike. Across the Atlantic, in the halls of Buckingham Palace, the process of quiet damage control carried on. Advisors were said to be drafting a new royal communications strategy to address future crises more proactively. King Charles, determined to restore dignity to the crown, planned to focus on charitable initiatives and environmental diplomacy, his lifelong passion. Back in Washington, Trump resumed his schedule, greeting supporters and attending meetings. But those who had been on that flight recalled the subdued tone of his statement. For a president often associated with controversy, his words about the royal family offered a brief detour into empathy, one that revealed as much about him as it did about the story he was commenting on. Over the following week, the media cycle shifted to other global matters, elections, trade deals, and security briefings. Yet the image of Trump on Air Force One, leaning slightly forward, speaking softly about tragedy, endured in memory. It was an image of contrasts, the powerful sympathizing with the fallen, the political figure reflecting on monarchy, and the man who once built his career on scandal expressing compassion for those ensnared by it. In the grand theatre of international politics, such moments of unexpected humanity often stand out. For all his bravado, Donald Trump's comment on the Andrew Epstein saga served as a reminder that beneath the layers of image and rhetoric, empathy, even fleeting, can still cross oceans and resonate far beyond the confines of power.